If you ever wake up and see someone standing completely still outside your window, don't approach the glass, don't turn on a light, and for the love of God, don't let them think you can see them. That's the mistake that ruined my life last winter. It was mid-January, the kind of cold that makes your bones ache. I live in a quiet neighborhood in a small town where nothing big ever happens. People leave their Christmas lights up too long, dogs bark at snowplows, and my street goes silent by 9 p.m. But winter has a way of changing the atmosphere. It makes everything feel slower and much more dangerous. The first time I heard the tapping, I ignored it. A soft, repetitive tap, tap, tap against my bedroom window. It was probably ice shifting or a branch brushing the glass. I didn't even bother looking. The second night, it happened again. Same time, 2:43 a.m. I found that strange, but not enough to scare me. I brushed it off as wind. The third night, I finally got up. I walked barefoot to the window, lifted the curtain a little, and didn't see anything except darkness. No footprints, no movement, nothing. But on the fourth night, everything changed. At 2:43 a.m., I heard the tapping again. But this time, it was slower, heavier, like someone using their fingernail. Tap. I got out of bed and walked toward the window. I pulled the curtain back completely. That's when I saw him. A man, standing perfectly still outside my window. Not moving, not shivering, not blinking. His face was pale, too pale, almost bluish. Frost clung to his eyebrows and beard. His jacket looked stiff with ice. His skin looked stretched, cracked like dry leather left in the cold too long. I stumbled back. He didn't react. He didn't even blink. He just stared at my window, like he had been staring for hours. I went back to bed and forced myself to believe it was a drunk person or someone who got lost. By morning, he was gone. No footprints. No sign anyone had ever been there. I tried to forget it, but the next night, he returned. 2:43 a.m. Tap, tap, tap. When I looked this time, he was closer, standing only a few inches from the glass. I slammed the curtains shut and didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The police didn't believe me. They said, "People don't stand in sub-zero weather without moving. You'd see a body in the morning." I knew what I saw. On the sixth night, I decided to record him. I put my phone by the window and hit record. At 2:43 a.m., I checked the footage. But instead of a frozen man, my phone showed static. Just white noise, like something interfered with the camera. I looked out the window myself. He was gone. But when I pulled my phone up again, the static cleared, and he was suddenly on the screen. Not at the window, not at a distance, but standing directly in front of the camera, face pressed to the lens. He was inside my house. I dropped my phone and ran to the hallway. My entire house felt freezing. My breath fogged with every exhale. Something was wrong. I felt watched. I checked every room, every corner, every closet. Then I reached my bedroom. My window was open, curtains blowing violently. Snow scattered across the floor like someone dragged their frozen feet inside. And on my mirror, written in melting frost, were the words, "Stop watching me." I swear I almost passed out. I backed out of the room, grabbed my coat, and drove to a hotel at 3 a.m., shaking uncontrollably. The next morning, I went to the local police station again. This time, an older detective pulled me aside, not the usual officer. He shut the door and said, "You're not the first person this has happened to." He told me about a man who froze to death near my property 8 years ago. They found him standing upright, face tilted slightly upward, as if he had been staring into a window. But here's the part they never released to the public. His body kept showing up again after we moved it, the detective whispered. Not alive, not walking, but standing, in different places. Same frozen posture. They eventually cremated the body to stop the sightings. But people in my area still claim to see him during extreme cold snaps. Always at 2:43 a.m. Always standing. Always watching windows. I moved out. I didn't pack much. I just left. I thought I was safe. I was wrong. 3 weeks ago, the new tenant sent me a message at 2:47 a.m. A voice recording. It was the sound of tapping, and then his terrified whisper. "Why is there a frozen man standing outside your old bedroom window?" I wanted to tell him to run, to move, to leave everything, but I didn't need to, because 10 minutes later, he sent me a photo. The window was open, snow on the carpet, and on the mirror, written in frost. "I found you." I deleted the message, but deleting something doesn't mean it's gone. A few nights ago, I woke up in my new apartment, far from that house, far from that street. far from that window. But at 2:43 a.m., I heard a soft, familiar tapping. Tap, 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 on my new window. I didn't look. I refused to, because deep down, I know who it is. And I know he's not going away. If you heard tapping at 2:43 a.m. every night, what would you do? Tell me in the comments. I read everything, and I want to see if anyone has an answer better than mine. Before you scroll, listen. I am releasing the actual audio the new tenant sent me, the one recorded right before he disappeared, in my next upload. It's the only evidence that proves this story isn't just another scary tale. If you don't subscribe, you won't see it when it drops. If you do subscribe, you'll get it the second it's live. And trust me, you need to hear it before someone else edits it, steals it, or buries it. Subscribe now so you don't miss the proof.